All right. Now, what you just saw there, that was a clip of Judge Kano out of California and his wife being arrested. Now, this was the judge who I recently did a video about, who was found to have been harboring Tren de Agua gang members in his home, like living in his residence, providing them with weapons, and they were going out to shooting ranges. This person has felonies, had been deported before, was ordered to be gone. And this left-wing extremist judge opened up his residence to allow this illegal immigrant to live in his home and was obstructing justice. Now, the reason why they were arrested is because they were providing firearms to an illegal immigrant who just so happens to also be a convicted felon. So that's where it starts. So Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, they have finally made their first arrest, but it didn't stop there. They've also jumped on over to Milwaukee and just arrested another judge. Now, what this judge did is totally insane. And in this video, I'm going to share a little bit from this article, and then I'm going to let the video speak the loudest, because it is just crazy how we've got federal judges siding with illegal immigrants, fighting against the American government who's trying to deport illegal immigrants. They're trying to retain them. You got all of these people screaming about due process, but there was no due process when they were coming into the country. They want everybody to go in front of these judges and do things the right way when it's time to get them out. But getting in was just as simple as going on an app saying, yep, I want some help, need a little asylum. You in and you good, and we'll see you in 10 years for your court date. President Trump is trying to keep his promises, and these folks are fighting tooth and nail to stop him from that. And we have to do our part. This is no longer, I know you know this, because if you're watching this, you're one of the people that are in the know. But this is no longer one of those periods in time where we can just sit up, watch the mayhem on TV and just say, they're crazy. Because if you're looking at what's happening, this stuff is so insane. It's more insane and radical than we ever thought. I never thought in my lifetime we'd be debating men and women's sports and if men can have children. It's nuts. Now we have judges, federal American judges, fighting for illegal immigrants while locking up American citizens like those that tried to let their voice be heard on January the 6th. But they held those people for 4 years with no due process, stuck them in some of the worst prisons around the country for misdemeanors, and had these people doing years. While in California, this judge decided that Judge Kano was going to, like the illegal immigrant who was just released in California, or they talking about releasing in California, who killed the 2 American children in a DUI accident. That person killed 2 people in a DUI accident, an illegal immigrant, did 3 years out of a 10-year sentence, and is being released. Even though there's an ICE detainer, the California Democrats want him released back into the public. While J6 Americans who were just being patriotic that day received 4, 8, 10, 12-year sentences. And they weren't getting early release if it wasn't for President Trump. He stepped in and helped it. So let's get into this. FBI arrests Milwaukee judge accused of helping a man evade immigration agents. Milwaukee, the FBI on Friday arrested a Milwaukee judge accused of helping a man evade immigration authorities, escalating a clash between the Trump administration and the judiciary over the Republican president's sweeping immigration crackdown. FBI Director Cash Patel announced on social media the arrest of Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan, who he said intentionally misdirected federal agents away from a man they were trying to take into custody at her courthouse last week. Thankfully, our agents chased down the perp on foot, and he's been in custody since. But the judge's obstruction created increased danger to the public, Patel wrote. Dugan was taken into custody by the FBI on Friday morning on the courthouse grounds, according to U.S. Marshals Service spokesperson Brady McCarran. She appeared briefly in federal court in Milwaukee later Friday before being released from custody. Her next court appearance is May the 15th. Judge Dugan wholeheartedly regrets and protests her arrest, It was not made in the interest of public safety, her attorney, Craig Mostanatono, said during the hearing. He declined to comment to an Associated Press reporter following her court appearance. Dugan is charged with concealing an individual to prevent his discovery and arrest and obstructing or impeding a proceeding. She's accused of escorting the man, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, and his lawyer out of the courtroom through the jury door on April 18th as a way to avert his arrest, according to an FBI affidavit filed in court. They say that these judges have been so off the hook, letting people out the back door, trying to kick ICE agents out of the courthouse. Why? What is going on where you have our Democrat politicians and judges? I mean, can they really have TDS and hate Trump that much where anything that he does, they're just going to go against it no matter what it is? So if he can reduce inflation all the way down to 0.8%, what are the Democrats going to do? Fight for it to be at 18% inflation? You know what I'm saying? If he ends all the global wars, what are they going to do? Fight to just kick off World War III? It seems like whatever's good for the people, they hate it because Trump is doing it. Even though Barack Obama deported 4 million people, no injunctions. And so when people are like, oh, Trump isn't deporting hardly anybody, he's got a freaking judge every 2 seconds filing a lawsuit. And the reason why they're doing it is because they're trying to trip him up. They want him to violate and to ignore one of these court rulings so then they can really go hard with the constitutional crisis. And it seemed like they've gotten their footing together because now, boy, they just slinging lawsuits like crazy. When Trump first came out, it was a shock and awe. They flooded the zone. Now the Democrats have seen that and they're flooding the zone legally. You even got Letitia James, who was just busted for alleged mortgage fraud. Now her and the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, are suing the Trump administration over tariffs. You got Gavin Newsom in California. California is suing the Trump administration over tariffs. You notice it's these blue states. Why are blue states so against the people being prosperous? Why are the blue states so against peace? Why are the blue states rooting for China? It makes you wonder, maybe they were promised in an upside down world that they would be rulers. They're the real fascists. But let's get into this video because I don't want to hold you too long. So let's see what Pam Bondi has to say about the situation with this Milwaukee judge and judge, both who have been arrested. Let's listen to what Pam Bondi has to say. If you enjoyed this video, do me a solid and hit that like button because I'll never ask you for a cash app or for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, that really helps the channel. And that is currency. It'll help spread the video around. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe because on the Real Politics podcast, that's what we do. We talk real politics. So once you subscribe, hit that notification bell and select all. That way you'll be notified when I upload new videos.
So rare for victims to want to cooperate. They wanted to cooperate. They were sitting in the courtroom with the state prosecutor. The judge learns that ICE was outside to get the guy because he had been deported in 2013, came back in our country, commits these crimes, charged with committing these crimes, victims in court. Judge finds out. She goes out in the hallway, screams at the immigration officers. She's furious, visibly shaken, upset, sends them off to talk to the chief judge. She comes back in the courtroom. You're not going to believe this. Takes the defendant and the defense attorney back in her chambers, takes them out of private exit and tells them to leave. While a state prosecutor and victims of domestic violence are sitting in the courtroom.
Wow. You know, Madam Attorney General, great to have you here. And thanks for coming back on America Report. So we remember these words of Tom Homan, the border czar. This was March 17th and his message on these judges who apparently are trying to get in the way of this administration's efforts. Listen.
I'm proud to be a part of this administration. We're not stopping. I don't care what the judges think. I don't care what the left thinks. We're coming.
So when you see these judges trying to obstruct your efforts to make this country safer, what is your message to them?
We are going to prosecute you, and we are prosecuting you. I found out about this the day it happened. We could not believe, actually, that a judge really did that. We looked into the facts in great depth. That's her picture up on the screen, Hannah Dugan, who is now in custody. You cannot obstruct a criminal case, and really, shame on her. It was a domestic violence case of all cases, and she's protecting a criminal defendant over victims of crime.
So you got the left that are always talking about, oh, women, fighting for women, but they're really fighting for men. The left don't give a crap about women. Look at how many times, like this was a domestic violence situation. Forget the fact that the lady and the man who got brutalized by this individual, she was more focused on saving the illegal immigrant rather than the 2 American citizens who have been brutalized. And then Abrego Garcia, his own wife in 2021 put a restraining order on him. She was terrified of him, said her life was in danger. Think the Democrats care about that? No, they totally disregard that. No, he's a great guy, he's a father, a family man, when his own wife was terrified of him. These folks are insane.
Actually just had an initial appearance in court. There's also this other case coming out of New Mexico. Judge Joel Cano and his wife.
And I apologize. That's right. It was New Mexico, not California, with that other judge.
Were arrested for harboring a TDA member at their home. The alleged TDA member had been picked up by law enforcement, and now he and his wife were picked up and arrested. And you say that you believe, as the Attorney General, that the person that they were having living at their home was a truly potentially bad individual.
Yeah, that's the judge up on the screen now who got arrested. Yeah, his name is Ortega. He is a known TDA member. So he comes through Eagle Pass, December 2023. He's living in our country. January 2025, ICE, they get a tip. Tom Homan's done a great job. Our FBI did a great job on this case too. They get a tip that he is living with a judge and the judge's wife. So they have him arrested first on immigration charges. A Judge Damian Martinez releases him saying that Judge Cano has a good BS meter and wouldn't let just anyone live on his property.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the associations with this violent Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, and this person that they harbored in their home, he was showing signs through clothing, we were told, tattoos. There was evidence through voice messages and text messages of his association to TDA. So what charges will Cano and his wife face, if any?
So Judge Cano, soon to be former Judge Cano, got his charges were just unsealed. He's charged with obstruction. He admitted post Miranda. He took one of the TDA members' cell phones himself, took it, beat it with a hammer, destroyed it, and then walked the pieces to a city dumpster to dispose of it to protect him. The wife also is charged with destroying evidence. Sandra, not only that, this TDA member, and he had on a necklace that said kill, something about death. He had tattoos all over him. He also had on his cell phone pictures of two decapitated victims, decapitated, gruesome photos. And he was sending them out. And whoever he was sending them to was sending back saying, hey, you need to be careful. You shouldn't be sending these. You shouldn't be texting these photos out. Not only that, these two, the judge and his wife, gave him assault rifles that belonged to their daughter. That's what they're charged with. In the criminal report affidavit, he goes to a shooting range with these assault rifles, with a suppressor, with other known TDA members, and they're shooting. This is the last person that we want in our country, nor will we ever tolerate a judge or anyone else harboring them.
It's insane when you're listening to this to think that a judge would allow an illegal immigrant gang member to stay in their home and allow them to go shoot weapons. Like, was his daughter like in a relationship? I mean, I know he was like a handyman and, had got evicted from his apartment. This is the New Mexico case. Got evicted out of his apartment. And it was the judge's wife who suggested that the person move in with them. Fellas, ladies, what would you do if your significant other all of a sudden had this great idea that you all should let the nanny or the handyman, live with y'all because, their situation is, my wife knows she couldn't even fix her face to come and say something like that to me. That's red flags all over the place already. And then, or the daughter, maybe it was the judge's daughter. Either which way, you don't judge a book by its cover, but you look at the tats. The guy, he had the gang tats. I mean, tattoos represent something. And then you're a judge. You're going to let him live in your house without doing any type of background checks. And the person in Milwaukee, I don't know what type of relationship this judge had with that individual, but he's a woman beater, a felon, and you're literally fighting for him, snuck him out to court while you got American victims sitting in front of you. It's just shameful. It's shameful. So I just wanted to jump in and highlight the fact that the arrests are starting. Pam Bondi and Kat Patel. Remember, it hasn't even been 100 days yet. And I know people have been saying, when is the hammer going to come down on these corrupt Democrats? Remember this, if it's not done the right way, the media will flip it and say Trump's just being a dictator and it's all retribution. It's like Letitia James with the mortgage fraud. She's already trying to say it's all retribution and retaliation. So what? Trump knew that this was going to happen. So 30, 40 years ago, he made you and your father lie on your mortgage application in 83. Or in 2023, when Letitia James and her niece was buying that property in Virginia, Trump knew that he was going to be back in the White House, and so he did a Jedi mind trick and forced you to lie on that mortgage application and say it was your primary residence when it wasn't. You know, it's just crazy how no matter what they do, somehow Trump's fault. It's like the economy. Trump been back in office not even 100 days, but they act like he did this to the economy. And luckily, the American people are not that dumb and blind. Just like with these illegals. They act like, oh, it's a Trump problem. I swear, Biden, you would have thought Joe Biden never existed. The Democrat Party they hope that people never bring Biden's name up again. You notice how they don't even talk about the previous administration. You notice that at all? Have you ever seen the Democrat administration be forgotten and dropped so quick? Not even Jimmy Carter was done like they've done the Biden administration. They want that time and period gone because it was what re-ushered in the MAGA era and rejuvenated Trump and the America First movement, which has these Democrats shaking in their boots because it's only 100 days. And the way the polls are looking, the midterms are sizing up. Looks like the Republicans are going to take on even more seats. And there's 6 Democrats that have already said they're not running for re-election. So, you know what I'm saying? Unless the Republicans just straight drop the ball, if we can help Trump get his economic policy going, everything's going to be good here. But I just wanted to jump in and share you the story of the 2 judges that have been arrested for harboring illegal immigrants. Yes, it's insane. Yes, it's nuts, but it's really happening. So I'm going to jump off here. I got my grandchildren this weekend. We got people coming out for some celebration. So I'm not going to be putting up as many videos over the next couple of days. So I really do appreciate you watching this one. Remember to hit that like button. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Subscribe to the channel. Most importantly, you be safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.